Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of game reviews. Today I'll be reviewing Final Fantasy 15, which personally I'm very excited about because Final Fantasy series has been one of my favourites since I was really young, back into the days when it was just the original 2D Final Fantasy games which I used to have on SNES. So starting off with that, the first thing I have to say about this game that really excited me from the get-go was you can feel when you start playing it that it's had the involvement from the original Final Fantasy in it. The way it's been laid out, little bits they drop in like Easter eggs, and the general gameplay itself, as I myself was very disappointed with how things went after Final Fantasy X. It's the last good Final Fantasy game I felt like I played. 11, 12, 13 and 14 all just disappointed me. The two, either away from the franchise or especially with 13, it just felt far too linear for myself. Which leads me on to, for the first point, the gameplay. Gameplay itself, as I said, gone back to the original roots touch, but has actually introduced a new battle system based very loosely around the newer Final Fantasy games of an open moving battle system instead of the traditional turn-based battle system. However, now I feel it's been tweaked and it actually has become quite a good system to have inside the game. It's very fluent, you can chain your attacks together. Personally, I've enjoyed it quite a lot. That's a point I've already touched on. The roots they've gone to as well, bringing back a lot of older things of Final Fantasy, finally touching with the fans like they needed to have. As far as I'm concerned, as the game opens up, it says it's the Final Fantasy for new players and old players, and well, I think they've got that dot on. The weapons, well, the weapons and the items inside the game. All your Final Fantasy traditions you've got, all your potions, your ethers, your phoenix downs. Luckily they haven't changed any of that. The weapons themselves, you've still got all your traditional range of swords, but this time they're actually giving you the option of different styles of swords. So you've got like your long sword, daggers, specialised weapons, heavy weapons, and the new introduction is a good system with actual guns. As until now I think the only good Final Fantasy character to actually have a gun in the series was Barrett from the legendary Final Fantasy VII. Let's go on to the locations. Well, and ties in as we expect from Final Fantasy games, the locations are always amazing. But luckily within this one they've gone back to a proper open world franchise and the locations are to match. Beautiful places they've put into it, each one very different from the last. Gives you a real range between small little shacks and large cities. Which moves on to the new items in the game, mainly as people have seen the trailers or gameplay. The car, the Regalia, which has added a nice new element to it, which I personally was quite sceptical about when I originally saw it, but it's worked out well. The car, you can customise it, you can fit new fixtures to it, change the way it looks in any way you like. It's a good little side piece and it gives you a lot of good extra quests and places to go on top of it, and that extra element of actually being able to drive the car yourself or have one of the other characters drive you around. Which moves me on to a high point of the graphics. As usual, Final Fantasy hasn't failed to disappoint on this one, and the graphics for me personally were amazing for it. I was very happy with how they came out, especially since it's a high rates graphics game. And an additional point to make is when you start the game there is one quite long loading screen, which did upset me at first, but you get that and then you have very little loading screens in between, and most of the ones that you do are very optional, so you get a lot of graphic quality for a lot of frame rate in there, and for me I loved it. So then it takes on to the old Final Fantasy classic of side quests and extra missions. These are literally littered everywhere, as it should be in any Final Fantasy game. So you can look around, there's a variety of side missions, collecting things, right the way through to you can go on beast hunts, which are all over the place. It's its own special little side set, and quite frankly it's kept me going for hours and hours and hours, and it's given back that Final Fantasy element of if you don't want to do the main mission, you've got hundreds of things you can do on the side to truly keep yourself going. I think adding to that, end of the day, I haven't actually completed the game myself yet. I'm only on chapter 10. I've done a lot of hours on it already. I think afterwards I'd probably find the replay value would be quite high, as there are a lot of multiple options throughout the game, and personally for me I find that's always an alluring fact. As with the channel name, I'm a big fan of games like Fallout and that, where making your choices are a big factor, and they've added this into Final Fantasy 15 very well. So I will find myself personally playing it a lot of times. I would suggest it as a game for anybody to get, whether it be full price or if you're not too sure, pick up a second-hand copy. To sum the whole game up, definitely worth every penny. I'd say if I was going to give it a out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Just leaving that 1.5 because there's always room for improvement in the game. But for me personally, it was a great thrill to have such a great treat come back to the Final Fantasy series. For more videos are coming in the future, like, comment and subscribe. See you out there.